What will we cover? Muscle types of muscle. What are muscles responsible for? Properties contrastrix tone. Disorders of the muscular system posture. Muscles can be felt under the skin. Those near the surface are called superficial muscles. Most muscles are attached to the bones at either end. The stationary end of the muscle is called the origin. The end that moves is called the insertion. Muscle tissue. There are 3 types of muscles tissue called: cardiac, voluntary, involuntary. Cardiac found only in the heart and is responsible for keeping the heart beating rhythmically. Involuntary carries out automatic in the body, such as maintain blood pressure, movement of substances by peristalsis, and controlling the size of the pupil of the eye. Voluntary, this is usually attached to the skeleton causing movement of parts of the skeleton. What are muscles responsible for? Movement of the body parts. The muscles are made up of a bundle of elastic fibers bound together in a sheath known as the fascia. Muscular tissue shortens known as contraction to provide movement. Muscles never completely relax. There are always a few contracted fibers in every muscle. These make the muscles slightly tense, and this tension is called muscle tone. The muscle is usually anchored by a strong tendon which attaches muscle to bone. The muscle is also joined to a second bone, which is called insertion. When the second bone moves, the muscle contracts, pulling the 2 bones towards each other. Not all muscles attach to bones. Some insert to adjacent muscles or into the skin itself, such as those of the face, neck, and shoulders. Properties. Muscle tissue has the following properties. It has the ability to contract. Muscle contraction occurs when the thin actin and thick myosin filaments slide past each other. It has the ability to extend. This happens when the extensor muscle in a joint contract the corresponding flexor muscle, which will be stretched or lengthened. It is elastic. Following contraction or extension, it returns to its original length. It is responsive. It contracts in response to nerve stimulation. Voluntary muscle contraction only when stimulated by their nerve supply. Contraction requires energy that is supplied by tissues. Respiration taking place inside muscle cells. Glucose and oxygen are used to supply energy, and carbon dioxide and water are released as waste products. Muscles need a good blood supply when a person is exercising, in order to bring the oxygen and glucose and to carry away waste products. Muscles can rupture anaerobically without oxygen for short periods. As the blood cannot supply enough oxygen, glucose is broken down to lactic acid. As this builds up in the muscle tissue, lactic acid causes fatigue. When muscles become fatigued, they stop contracting and can become painful, causing cramp. It is essential that the muscle receives a good blood supply after anaerobic exercise, as oxygen is required to complete the breakdown of lactic acid to carbon dioxide and water. This then removes all traces of lactic acid, which can cause stiffness in the muscles. If allowed to remain, massage helps to warm and relax muscles and improve their blood flow. Contraction. How do voluntary muscles contract? This happens by a system of sliding filaments. Each myofibril is made up of 2 types of filament: thin ones composed mainly of a protein called actin, and thick ones composed main. When the muscle is stimulated to contract, the filaments and pull over each other and overlap, the more tension is produced. Force increases as the muscle gets shorter and shorter. Muscle tone. Muscles never completely relax. There are always a few contracted fibers in every muscle. These make the muscle slightly tense, and this muscular tension is called muscle tone. Muscle tone helps the body to stand upright and keeps the muscles prepared for immediate action. A flaccid muscle is one with less than normal tone. Flexors are muscles that bend a limb. Extensors are muscles that straighten a limb.
Disorders of the muscular system. Fatigue, lack of response by a muscle to continuous stimuli. Ocean stop working. due to a lack of oxygen or the buildup of lactic acid and carbon dioxide. Cramps and involuntary complete tetanic contraction in the muscle.
Shivering tone increases as the muscles become colder. Shivering is due to these prepared muscles contracting spasmally. This produces heat and therefore helps to raise its body temperature. Posture. Good posture. The body is held upright with little muscular effort. As the head is balanced on top of the spine, all vertebrae are balanced on each other. The spine is balanced on top of the hip bone and the feet are square on the ground. Poor posture. If the body is not balanced, then the muscles must work harder to keep the unbalanced posture and can start to tire and ache. The back and neck muscles are the ones most likely to be affected by stooping or sitting over a desk. Poor posture also compresses the internal organs and affects their function. This can cause breathing difficulty and digestive problems. Poor posture can be corrected by conscious effort and by regular exercise.